Everyone here knows how much I love stories, so I'm going to share one with you today. In a small town, two builders were given the same challenge: build something useful for people. Nothing flashy, nothing revolutionary, just something that actually works. Both were smart and cared deeply about quality, but the way they worked couldn't have been more different. We'll call one Arjun. Arjun believed good work started with a solid plan. Before writing a single line of code, he planned the week: what features would be built, what would be finished, when reviews would happen, when reflections would happen. Every morning, he checked in with himself. What did I finish yesterday? What am I going to be working on today? For a team, this approach works well. Everyone knows the direction, everyone stays aligned. But real life doesn't always follow the pattern of a sprint board. A feature looked small, but grew bigger. User feedback forced changes midweek. Some days, energy was just low. We didn't have it in us. Soon, the plan started feeling heavier than the work itself. Then let's enter Maya. Maya worked alone. She didn't believe in planning everything up front. Instead, she took a marker and drew 3 columns on a board: to do, doing, done. Then she wrote on sticky notes one rule only: I work on one thing at a time. When she finished a task, she marked it done, moved on to the next one. No daily meetings, no sprint ceremonies, no pressure to predict the future. Some days she worked on user interface. Other days she cleaned messy logic. Other days she removed things she overbuilt earlier. Every day, something felt finished. After a few weeks, people noticed something. Arjun had great plans with half-built features. Maya had way fewer features, but they actually worked. That's when a real question appeared. Is it better to plan perfectly or to consistently finish? I think you know the answer to this one. So if we try to look at this in a real building of a product, imagine you're building something real and practical, like a simple service directory for a local area, or a small sales app for a shop, or a basic listing app where users prefer calling over clicking, or a tool meant for people who aren't very tech savvy. I built a handful of those. In products like these, requirements change after real conversation. Over-engineering creates more problems than it solves. Users care about clarity and not cleverness. You're often the only developer, or should I say, developer, tester, and product manager all wrapped into one. In this situation, heavy process certainly doesn't help. It actually slows you down and adds grief to what you're trying to do. So this begs the topic that I hear probably more often than not in a Scrum Master class. Should we be doing Scrum? Should we be doing Kanban? I hear it all the time. So Scrum works best if you have an entire cross-functional team. The work is somewhat predictable, but not completely planned, and coordination across those individuals actually matters. The mindset should be, let's commit to what we'll finish this week and do the best we can to get those things done. For solo builders, that turns into pressure. Kanban works best when you're building alone. Things frequently change. You want flexibility. Or if you find that everything's coming to you inbound in single thread tickets, almost like a ticketing system, or almost if you're a specialist in a certain area, maybe you're an architect or you are part of a marketing group. Anytime you're in a services organization, a lot of times you'll feel like Kanban should work better. Finish one thing before you start the next thing and just keep flowing through. The risk: without discipline, work can certainly drift and dates will run away from you. So over time, Maya started borrowing a few ideas from Scrum, specifically one: have a weekly goal and not necessarily a rigid plan. And Arjun borrowed from ideas in Kanban: I should limit work in progress to get things done. The system became simple: one weekly goal, one task at a time, measure progress by what's done and not what's planned. No fancy tools, no ceremonies, just clear momentum. The answer? Some call it Scrumban. And what I found is Scrumban works best in a lot of organizations. It actually makes sense, especially if you have known work and unknown work. You can divide your story points practically by saying we're going to allocate a percentage of the story points to whichever is heavier, known work or unknown work. And then with the remaining points, we'll do the other. So that way, maybe you have 20 points total and you have 15 for planned work that you know you have to get done every sprint, and 5 points set aside for inbound tickets that come in. Now, if more inbound tickets flow, maybe you'll do a little bit less here. But the point I'm trying to make is it makes you more predictable and a little bit more flexible without creating just a buffer, because you're not doing a buffer because there's certainly some reason or certainly some knowledge that tickets will come in, that requests will come in, and you're going to allocate time for those. Planning feels productive. Finishing is productive. If the system makes you ask, why is nothing finished? The system is the problem, not you. If the system helps you say, one useful thing shipped today, you got it right. You're doing it right. That's exactly where you need to be. Good process doesn't always look impressive. They quietly help you move forward and keep moving towards a common goal. And when you're building real-world products, that's what actually matters. That's what actually makes a difference. And that's what helps all of you participate in either Scrum, Kanban, or my favorite, Scrumban. That's going to do it for today. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care. Bye now.